Welcome to the Videography University podcast. This is the podcast to listen to if you have ambitions of turning your passion for videography into a six-figure income and full-time career. My name's Grant Burks. I'm the host of this podcast. I run a video production business full-time, and I'm also the author of Film to Freedom, the book where I teach you how to turn your passion for videography into a six-figure income and a full-time career. So in today's episode, we are going to talk about the constantly debated question: should you do free work as a videographer? A lot of people have their different opinions on this question, and I have a three-step process that I like to follow when debating if I should do free work for a project or not. Okay, so let me start by saying I don't believe that you should never do free work. I know that might be a very controversial opinion, but I am a firm believer that there are times when it makes sense for you, and it makes a lot of sense for you to do free work. Now, with that being said, there are also a ton of people out there in the world who will happily take advantage of your services and take advantage of you for your talents. They will happily use you, get a free video out of you, free videos out of you, and then not pay you anything in return. And guess what? Exposure does not count as compensation. Typically, very, 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 very rare instances, maybe. But 99% of the time, exposure is not going to get you compensation. All right, so what are my three rules for when you should do free work? So rule number one, you call the shots. Anytime you're doing free work, you should be the one calling the shots for the project. I'll go in more depth here shortly. Rule number two, you get a testimonial out of the project. And rule number three, you get to use the video for any marketing purposes that you would like to moving forward. Okay, let's dive a little bit more into detail in regard to these three rules that I like to adhere to. Now, first, I'm going to give you a little bit of a story. When I was first getting started in videography, my friends knew that I was a videographer. I had other people within my network that knew I was a videographer. Word was starting to spread within my community that I was a videographer. I would inevitably get people reaching out to me saying, "Hey Grant, we heard that you do video. We need video for this event that's coming up, but we don't have a budget. Any chance that you would be willing to shoot this project for us? In exchange, we will give you exposure. We will give you a shout out on social media. We'll give you a shout out via email." And there was a time where I actually accepted this. I said yes. You know what? That sounds great. It sounds like I'm going to get a ton of exposure. Can't wait for all this exposure. I said yes, and it was for a real estate agent. They had an Airbnb that they were looking to put up on. They had a property they were looking to put up on Airbnb, and they said, "We need a video for the property, but we don't have any money to afford on the budget, on the marketing budget for this project." Can you believe that? They had zero money. Come to find out, there was plenty of money that they could have spent on the marketing budget. They were just cheap. And they didn't want to pay somebody to do it for them, so they asked me if I would do it in exchange for exposure. And I said yes, so I shot the project. I delivered a fantastic final video, went through a ton of rounds of revisions with them, because guess what? People who ask for free work are inevitably the neediest of people as well, and they're going to take advantage of you. They have no shame in asking for revision after revision after revision after revision and wasting your time. Some people just don't care about wasting your time, and people who are asking free work of you don't care about your time. Sorry, I'm getting a little heated on this topic, but I don't want you to have your time wasted by all those people out there who will take advantage of you. I want you to be compensated appropriately for the work that you do. It's a valuable service that we provide. So anyway, back to the story. Shoot the video, go through a ton of revisions, deliver the final video to them. They were happy to accept it, and nothing ever came of it for me. None of those exposure points turned into actual compensation for me. Now, that is a situation in which I was not calling the shots. I didn't even get a testimonial out of that project. I didn't ask for one, but I didn't even get one. That wasn't an expectation at the start of the project. And I mean, I could use the video for marketing purposes, but it's not really something that was going to help me within my portfolio. So it wasn't really helpful for me anyway. So those 3 rules not adhered to in that situation. Now, I have another situation where I did adhere to those 3 rules. So when I was in the early stages of starting my videography business, I wasn't full time yet. I was kind of hitting the point where I was really taking it seriously again and wanting to start booking more clients consistently. And the dental industry was a niche that I was very interested in. I figured, these dental practices, it seems like they're doing pretty well. It seems like they probably have a marketing budget. Most of them don't have much video on their social media or website. Why don't I start reaching out to some of these dental practices in my area and see if I could create a video for them? So I didn't have a portfolio piece within that industry yet, within that niche, and I didn't really even have a brand video for my portfolio yet. So I didn't have anything I could show them. I was wanting to do brand videos for dental practices, but I didn't have anything that I could show them that they could see and get a good feel that they could trust me capturing this type of video for them. So I figured I'd reach out to a couple dental practices first, offer a free brand video for them, and in exchange, I would get a testimonial from the owner of the dental practice. And then I would also get to use the video for my portfolio to market to other dental practices. So I went on Google. I just typed in dental practices near me, and inevitably a ton of dental practices popped up. If you're not aware of how many dental practices there are out there, just type in dental practices near me within Google, and you will probably be shocked at the number of dental practices that there are out there. Well, I did just kind of skimmed through the first 10 or so, and I saw a couple that were pretty close to me, and it seemed like they had a website but didn't really have video on their website. So I thought they would be potential good candidates to shoot a brand video for. I used a nifty piece of software called hunter.io, and that, for those that aren't aware, hunter.io basically scrapes websites and pulls email addresses from the websites so that you can get in contact with the website owners more easily. So I used that piece of software. It's free. Yeah, I think you get up to 50 searches per month on their free plan. And I found email addresses for people from those 3 dental practices. So I took those email addresses and drafted up an email for each of those 3 practices. Actually, I think it might have been 2 practices. I think it was 2 practices that I sent it to initially. And I offered a free video, I introduced myself, said I was a videographer looking to get into the dental niche, was offering a free video. I said, typically this video, I said I'd probably charge around, I think I said $7,500 for this type of video. That was with all the bells and whistles at that time. So I said I typically charge between, I think I said $5,000 and $7,500 for this type of video, but I would be willing to do it for free for your practice as I'm looking to get into the dental niche and I'm looking to build my portfolio within this niche. Would you be interested in this type of service? And sure enough, I believe it was 2 practices that I had emailed initially. It might have been 3. I think it was 2 though. And both of them reached out to me and said, absolutely, we would definitely be interested in a free video for our practice. I attached a piece of work that I'd done for another client that was different, but showed I was a videographer still and made professional video. And they were like, heck yeah, let's do this. So the first one that got back to me, I really liked what they were doing. And I said, all right, let's go ahead and move forward with this. We hopped on a phone call. I learned a little bit more about their practice. We set up a time that we could come in and shoot the initial interviews and then a day of B-roll as well. The project went off without a hitch. It was awesome getting to work with them. Really enjoyed getting to meet their entire team. I've done multiple projects for them since then. They're still a client to this day, but produced this brand video for them for free. Sent it to them. They were pumped about it. They sent me a testimonial and said I was good to go, use it for any marketing purposes I wanted to. So I then took that video, took the testimonials and started reaching out to other dental practices. And the first one I reached out to, I said, we just ventured into the dental industry. We just shot a brand video for this other dental practice nearby, and I listed it, I named it within the email. They're clearly aware of it. It's within the same city that they're in. And we would love to shoot one for you for a discounted rate of $2,500. I said I usually charge between $5,000 and $7,500 for this type of project. We'd love to shoot one for you for $2,500. And they emailed me back and said, absolutely. So once again, they were very interested in getting this discounted video. But for me, this was, a $2,500 paid project for me at the time. I was still not full-time yet in my business. This was like huge for me. So I shot it for him. And I also added the note that I would be provided a testimonial for the discount and be able to use it for marketing purposes. So we shot it and went off without a hitch. They loved it. I made $2,500 on this video. In addition, I got a testimonial and then had another piece in my portfolio that I could use for marketing materials. Fast forward a couple weeks, and one of my friends who knew a mortgage lender in the area, they were talking about me. He was looking for video work. My friend mentioned that I did video work. I shared with him my portfolio of these new videos that I captured, and he said that he would love for me to capture videos for him on a monthly retainer. So we set up a monthly retainer structure where it was $1,000 a month for 4 videos per month. And this all came from him seeing that portfolio piece from the paid video that I did for the dental practice, which came from the free video that I did for the dental practice. Well, that retainer turned into a retainer for one of his colleagues for another $1,000 a month. And then things just grew and scaled from there. All of a sudden, that free video that I had shot for that dental practice had turned into tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars in video work. Now, it's important to note the difference between these two situations. First, I had someone reach out to me asking if I would do a free video for them in exchange for exposure. Nothing came of that except for a giant waste of my time and a video that I didn't even really use in my portfolio. Second scenario here, I reached out offering to do free work to a business that was within the niche that I wanted to get involved in, that I wanted to create videos in. And in exchange for that video, I set the understanding that I was going to get a testimonial from a well-respected individual, a doctor within the dental practice. And then in addition, I was going to get to use that video for marketing material to market to new potential clients. That free video turned into tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars of paid work for me. So these are the two kind of scenarios in which you could potentially get involved in doing free work. One, I absolutely recommend steering clear of. There's going to be a ton of people that'll reach out to you, seek you out for your services, and not want to pay you anything. Avoid them. Avoid those people like the plague. If someone's seeking you out for your services for free, they're probably not going to give you anything in return in the way of exposure or anything else. Now, inversely, if there's a client or an industry that you know that you want to get involved in, and you think it would be a great piece for your portfolio that you could market to new potential clients, or you think they're really well connected within the industry, and you think shooting a video for them could really help you, land new paying projects for other clients within that space, then I do recommend and advise shooting free work. You're probably going to start off shooting more free work to really get your foot in the door. Great way to get your foot in the door, get your name out there. If you're just starting off, you're probably pretty limited on finances. You might not have a lot of money, but you might have a lot of time. You probably have a lot of time that you can put towards shooting free work for clients to get your name out there and get your work in front of other new potential prospects. Now, later on down the line, you're probably going to be more limited on time. Once you have more clients and you're working on delivery and just balancing all those new clients, then you might not have as much time to do free work. I still, to this day, will do free work in certain situations if I feel like it's going to be beneficial for our business. So I don't think you're ever in a space where you should never consider doing free work again, but you need to make sure that it's work that makes sense for you and you're not being taken advantage of, but instead it's a win-win. It's a win for you because you are going to get a portfolio piece and get connected with people that could become great new clients And it's also a win for the prospect because ultimately they're getting a video out of it. If you are interested in turning your passion for videography into a 6-figure income and full-time career, then you can pick up a free copy of my book for listening to this episode. You can get it in the description below. Just go to the description to pick up a free copy of my book and learn all the strategies, tools, tactics to turn your videography business into a 6-figure income and full-time career. With that, I'll see you in the next one.